One of the biggest problems with people taking up running as a sport, especially if you're in your late 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, is if you don't go slow enough, you destroy yourself, effectively. So many people I know who last year trained for the Edinburgh 10k or the Edinburgh half marathon or even the Edinburgh marathon. I think about 8 out of the 10 people I know were completely broken that year. After have done all the training for the half marathon and all that, they tried to keep on doing training. Their knees got sore, ankles got sore, hips got sore. They effectively broke themselves, and all of them pretty much stopped running. So for a lot of people, the best sport really is maybe take up cycling, but again, that can be an incredibly dangerous sport. There's very few sports which aren't actually dangerous or destroy your body. So if you're thinking of taking on a running challenge, a 10k, an office 5k even, prepare. Like, the biggest bit of training you need to be able to do is to A, go slow enough, and B, try and avoid injury as much as possible. And the reason why running or jogging can cause so many pains and strains and ailments and just make running unpleasant is because running is incredibly hardcore on your feet and your lower body. I'll put the link down below, but there's studies on running, not even running, jogging, that when your heel strikes the ground, it can strike the ground with 3 to 4 times your body weight. When you're in the forefoot action, when you're pushing off with the front of your foot, that can be between 4 and 8 times your body weight. So if you think, let's say you start off and you go, I'm going to do a 3k run, 3 kilometers. What you might find is that your average step distance is around about 75 centimeters. Maybe your walking step is 40 to 50 centimeters stride length, but whenever you're jogging, it could be 70. If you're running, up to a meter. Okay, running can be quite dangerous as well when you're running on a road with no pavement beside you either. So yeah, think about it, that 75 centimeters. You go out for a 3k run. That run will require 4,000 steps. And think about 4,000 steps, times that by 3 times your body weight in your heel. So that's like the equivalent of doing 12,000 steps. And on your forefoot, pushing off, that could be up to like almost 20,000 steps, the equivalent kind of pressure you put onto your foot. So, first thing, if you're going to do a 5k or 10k, first thing you need to do is start walking 5k, 10k, whatever you're going to do. Most likely, if you've got into this running after a period of maybe half a year, maybe winter time, where you've not done any running or jogging, you've been fairly sedentary, your joints, your knees, your cartilage, your tendons, they've all got a bit relaxed, a bit soft. So as soon as you hit the running, my goodness, you are putting so much strain and pressure and rubbing through all those that very quickly it can be very sore or actually cause damage. So first things first, start walking your required number of steps a day. If you're doing a 5k, try and get 7,000 steps a day. If you're doing a 10k, I promise you, trying to do 10,000 steps a day repeatedly is actually pretty challenging if you work at an office, work in a call centre, most of your days driving around. Granted, if you're a postman or a builder, or you're somebody who's out and active all day, 10,000 piece of cake. But if you're behind a desk all day, be prepared to find out that 7, 10, 12,000 steps, especially in winter time, is very, very difficult to get and will require significant motivation and effort. But mostly the difficult part is doing it the next day. So in other words, a lot of us can happily go out and do 10,000 steps, 12,000 steps. Let's be throwing a run in there as well. 15,000 steps in a day. But the next day it's raining. You're like, oh, don't want to go out in that. Yeah, you still need to try and do another 10,000 steps. That's a challenge. Anyway, so that's just walking. And additionally, a lot of you will be coming to jogging still with the memory of how fit you were before, or how fast you were. Some of you may just be having memories of when you were at school and you were in the running team or something like that. That could have been 20 years ago. Muddy puddles. And thus, a lot of people that I know that have gone into running or tried to take up running have said that they either don't like it because they get out of breath too quickly, or they don't like it because they just can't run very far. And that's because the majority of people will start off at running at the pace that they may have been doing when they last trained. So after they've been training for 6 months, 7 months or whatever, for a half marathon, and they take up running again, they'll be going, I remember I used to do a kilometre every 5 minutes. Let's go for it. And they'll start off straight away, beasting it effectively, and they'll be absolutely destroyed, which is not necessarily a bad thing, because getting your heart rate up, getting your fitness up is good, but the rest of your body requires more monotonous, repetitive micro straining from jogging or walking to really be able to survive the longer distance runs. So be prepared. If you're going to take on a running challenge, start off challenging yourself with just walking. Challenge yourself with just getting that number of steps that you need to get each day. Then, only after you've done that for about, I'd say give yourself 2 weeks of that, then maybe start thinking about slowly jogging. Not sprinting, not hill sprints, nothing like that, just going out for a slow jog. And when I say a slow jog, I mean baby steps, to the point where it's almost embarrassing. It almost feels silly to be jogging so small. One of the most common attributes of long distance and fast runners is high cadence. And we're talking about 180 steps a minute. There's a lot of apps out there that you can get that will give you a metronome timing of your steps if you want to do that. Or if you've got a watch, it can tell you your cadence as you step, 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 step. Just now I'm doing about 170 steps a minute, and that requires me to do what feels like baby steps. And if I don't want to get totally out of breath, because I'm going for a long one, I'm doing about a 10k just now, I've got to do effectively what feels silly, but it's just baby steps. So each step is just only marginally above walking. Well, maybe a bit more than marginally above walking. My average pace on this run has been 6 minutes per kilometre. If I was in a race, I could take a minute off that easy. So my race speed would be about 5 minutes per kilometre for a 10k. But if I'm just training, developing my resistance to the training, I'm going to bring it down to about 6, maybe even 6.5 minutes per kilometre. For me, for my height, that's nice and slow, nice and relaxed. But I'm doing, in a 10k, I'm going to be doing about 12, 13, 14,000 steps. And that's more the training that you want to do. You want to get the training where you're training your body to deal with these constant, repetitive pounding that you do on all your joints, especially in your foot. Your foot's got a lot of bones, a lot of tendons, a lot of cartilage in there that if you've been sitting at a desk for the last 6 months, they are not prepared for any sort of fast sprinting running. And the final tip I would say is, if you can, try and do as little of the training on road. Try and get it on stuff like this, a nice muddy path, or a grassy trail, or if you can, on a hill, isn't too bad either. Grass, mud, stones, trails. If there's a grassy patch beside a road, run on that. You may think, oh, but this is a wee bit slippy. This makes me slow. This feels a wee bit uneven. That is even better, because going slower will aid you in the long term. And the squishiness, the tiny amount of squishiness in mud, in grass, on an uneven stony surface, it massively reduces the recoil from every slap you have into the ground. So if you're going to take up running, go slow, start off with walking, prepare your body for any sort of training by at least a fortnight of getting those steps in every day. If you can do it for, I feel, 14 days, getting your 7, 8, 10, 12,000 steps, whatever you think you need, if you're able to do that consistently every day, you'll find out your shoes might not be the best. You might find that you've got pains in your hip. You might find you have tight quads that you need to stretch off. But if you do that, only then, that's when you should start incorporating very slow jogging. Because a lot of people, as I said, they can train, they can get fast. They can train, they can get fast, they can survive for maybe 6 months, do a race, get a personal best, then they relax, and then all of a sudden all those pains and sore bits start to really kick in, and that's when people are broken, and then don't run again for another 6 months, a year, or ever. So if you want to have lifetime fitness, go slow.